We're live, Mr. Deal.
Live, ladies and gentlemen, let's get across. I've transitioned the screen and everything, Mr. Bosel.
My goodness me, have you really?
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two Crazy Guys, One Crazy Crypto World. This is our Tuesday, July 23, 2019 Crypto Update Podcast. So,
Good morning,
how
mate.
are you, Mr. Bosel?
Not too bad, yes. It's I had to wake up to a nice, beautiful, misty sunrise this morning. It looked gorgeous out over the hills.
Yeah.
Didn't venture out. I don't know how cold it was, but it looked pretty from the inside.
Oh, that's good. That is very, very good.
So, just checking, is your Facebook Live alive?
I hope so. It should be. It says that we're alive. I'm hoping that we have got it
There we
alive.
go. That one's live. I think we're live on YouTube. So I think it's all happening, my friend. It's all.
Have I got the right picture up on Facebook, Mr. Basil?
Oh, look at you go!
Like, really? Seriously? Well, ladies and gentlemen, technology did not beat us this morning yet.
Yet, I was going to say yet.
Yet.
We hopefully we've seemed to be ironing out most of the bugs as we go.
We are. Some of the little buggers are really hidden though, so they're going to take us a while to find. But we will continue to try, and we will get better and better at this. That's the only thing that we can really promise you.
Yeah, this is true. Dear. So I should probably
bring up our daily update, Mr.
Share the
Basil.
screen, shall we say?
And ladies and gentlemen, you might notice my voice is actually getting a little bit better. So the Canberra man flu, don't forget the Canberra part, because that is really critical to how bad this gets, right, is almost over for this year, I hope. Mind you, I was saying to Stacey before, I said, look, I don't know how big these sinuses are, because I reckon mine are the size of Texas, because we've no doubt been able to build the Alamo 3 times a day.
Oh, dear. Not
It's
good.
ridiculous.
Not good. Yeah, well, there's people going around. Everyone I talk to has been sick or had sickness or whatever. So
It's just
no
insane.
fun. And we've had a little bit of sickness in the. We'll say we've got a bit of the sniffles on the Bitcoin market overnight.
Yeah,
but
we have.
nothing too dramatic. So if we look across the top 10, Bitcoin's currently sitting down around 10.3, so we've lost a little bit, about 1.85% overnight. And Ethereum sitting at 217, it's down about 2.23%. XRP's
It's
down.
actually still up a fair bit from where it got to not long ago.
Which one? Ethereum?
Ethereum, yeah. So didn't it drop back down into the hundreds?
Yes. Yeah, in fact, 90 days ago it was $176.
Yeah.
200 days ago it was only $156.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty amazing.
Yes. And Litecoin is down 3.5%. It hasn't managed to break back above 100 yet.
Yep.
Bitcoin Cash is down 2.7. Binance Coin's had a little bit of a rise, up almost 1%.
Yeah, it's not bad. Up 7% for the week.
Yeah, that's right. So that one's coming good. Tether's just stable. Not worried about that one. EOS, so she's down 3.6. Bitcoin SV, it's coming back with a bullet. Oh no, it's dropped. So well, for the week anyway, it's up 28% for
It's
the
up
week.
28%. It's not too bad.
Down 1%. Man, it's all over the shop. And Tron's actually in the green, 1.4%. So
that just always amazes me. Those little guys on the bikes inside those video games must be doing an amazing job.
Oh, good on you, Mr. Deal.
It's true. Dude, that's where Tron comes from?
Apparently, yes. Inside a video game.
Movie?
And look, some might say the Tron project is nothing more than a video game, but anyway.
That's true. But I'll tell you what, they're up
speculation.
% in 200 days, which is not a bad return on any investment they've made.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, that rounds out the top 10 as we're looking at the global market cap. We're still in the 280s. So we're sitting at 280, 281 as we speak.
Yeah.
And still floating along, not really moving up or down, just sort of plugging along. Interestingly enough, the BTC, so that's the Bitcoin dominance, is 65.24%.
Yeah.
So for newcomers to the space, basically what that means is that 65% of the entire market capitalization of cryptocurrencies is currently sitting in Bitcoin. So when they say Bitcoin is the granddaddy of cryptos, that's A, because it was the first,
Yeah.
but B, because it is also the largest coin in its own right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely leading the way, and but it's following similar patterns of past. And usually what's happened in the past is that Bitcoin starts its own bull run first. And so I've seen some analysts suggest that up to 6 months later, then a lot of the altcoins tend to follow.
So, well, do you think a lot of people are pulling out of altcoins at the moment, putting it in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is more stable and
absolutely
has been showing better gains? I know I did. I pulled out of a whole lot of little meager ones I had.
Yeah.
Just took the hit because I figured that Bitcoin is where the business is right now.
Yep.
And so I got rid of things like I had, like Dash, which really is so far down. It's from its all-time high that I personally don't know whether it'll ever get back there.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dash is an interesting one, and look, I think they will, because they're still doing a lot of big work in the background, right? And mostly in developing countries, right? We don't hear a lot about them over here because they're not doing massive amounts of marketing here. But what they are doing is in developing countries and countries that are struggling economically, like Venezuela. They've made a massive push into those countries to help those people set up merchant facilities and enable exchange of value through Dash and through Dash wallets. It's very fast. It has a privacy element to it. It's actually a really good, solid coin. And has a lot of benefits to it. And Dash was one of the first. I think it was the third or fourth coin I think I invested in originally. Look, I think they've been hit big with the from the bear market from where they were.
Click the all-time chart for me.
So I think they're down 95% or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it hit. Where's the highs up here? So it's about $1,100.
Yeah,
$1,100 it hit. Was its high, and so she's
I reckon
down
it'll probably stabilise at about halfway up there.
Oh, look, it's hard to know, mate. It's it really if they keep and the other thing that Dash has been working on is user experience, right? And I think that's definitely one area that has been a struggle for most of the cryptocurrency space is user adoption and how that works. So it's going to be really interesting to sort of see how the price does reflect its adoption, because it is being adopted more so in other countries that because like I said, here in Australia we're still in most G7 or even a lot of G20 nations that we're not desperate to use cryptos yet, right? We're still quite comfortable. We still use our tap and go cards. We can still make the purchases we need to, and our dollars, while they are losing money through inflation, we're not suffering hyperinflation like the likes of Venezuela and those sort of places, right? So they have an absolute desperate need to use cryptocurrencies to survive, quite frankly. So that's where a lot of this is going. And
could you imagine someone in Venezuela who bought Bitcoin before the boom, before the real big boom, what they're like right now? They would be some of the only people in the country sitting pretty because of the hyper.
Yep. Even Argentina. I saw a report the other day that even with the Argentinian peso, I think it is, if you had bought Bitcoin at the peak for $20,000 at the time, they would still be in profit today against the peso, because the peso has suffered so much inflation. And so for those sort of countries, and I've said this before, it's those countries that are going to really bring the adoption forward. more so than we do in our countries, because I said we are comfortable. We are at this stage, right? And not to say that something doesn't happen in the near future, but for right now, we're comfortable, and our monetary system basically works. It's costing us, but it works. But for a lot of these other countries, it's literally a means to exist and survive. Because if they try to rely on their own currencies, they don't have enough for bread, right?
Yeah,
it's really, really sad.
When you get paid in a wheelbarrow full of cash for your day's work, you know there's an issue.
Well, when you got to go in with an armful of money just to buy a loaf of bread, you know it's an issue, right? So yeah, it's a bad way. It's a bad way. But this is where a lot, as I said, it's where a lot of the adoption will come from, right?
Okay.
And it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see. So we've not really much to look at on the chart, other than to say that the dip we had seems to have bounced right off the 50-day moving average, which was interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
We did drop down below it a few days ago, but we went back above, and now it's bounced off. So hopefully, and I think that's around the 10,000. That's around the 10,000 mark. And my computer's now going really slowly again, and I don't know why.
It's a Queensland computer, Mr. Boswell. It's a Queensland computer.
I don't know what it is doing. It was doing so well too. And,
I know.
And now it's just messing around with me. I don't know what is going on. Anyway, let's see if I can move on to the next article, hopefully, if my computer will talk to me. There we go. All right. So this, I thought this was interesting too. So they're saying that the Bitcoin network is now 8 times more powerful than it was when we hit our all-time high at 20,000 US. So I find that really interesting, and it sort of supports the main message I've been trying to get out to people is that, yeah, the prices, like for the last 18 months, the price has been going down. We've had a long bear market. But what people haven't seen is the amount of infrastructure and money that has been spent in the back end right, across the cryptocurrency sphere has been quite phenomenal. Right? And it's one of the things that I suppose has kept me very positive about the space. While everyone was focusing on the price and it going down and, Bitcoin's dead again, rah, rah, rah. All you had to do is look at the amount of work that was being done in the back end and know this ain't going nowhere, right? I mean, people don't spend hundreds of millions of dollars in infrastructure and things for something that's going to die, right?
That's very true.
They just don't, right? So now this is really important, because what this means is that and for most of our people, most of our audience won't understand Bitcoin mining and how that works, other than just to say that it's the computers that run the network, right? So the Bitcoin network is maintained via a whole bunch of computers all around the world. Yeah. And when we talk about its security comes from the fact that there are literally tens of thousands of computers all around the world, all working on the same thing, right, to secure and look after the Bitcoin network. So naturally, the more computers you have doing that, the more secure the network. Okay. Mm-hmm. So now they're saying that our total hash rate, right, has reached a peak of 79 terahashes per second. Right.
That's unbelievable.
So that is absolutely phenomenal. That's a huge amount of computing power that is just focused on looking after the Bitcoin network.
Yeah, well, originally people were mining it from home, so it was all the home computers. There were 20,000 of them around the world.
Yep.
But now you need a warehouse full with these computer banks that are just enormous.
Absolutely.
They spend millions just setting up a mining rig.
Correct. And so what happens?
That computing power has to go into it.
Yeah. And the fascinating thing about the way Bitcoin was created is that it has the ability to increase and decrease the mining difficulty based on the hardware that is all contributing towards it.
Yeah.
So it's such a clever algorithm, I tell you. It's just incredible. So we're looking forward to the, and we've mentioned a few times the what's called the halvening event, and so I think it's about May next year. We're probably looking at when the block rewards will halve at a current level of 12.5 Bitcoin down to 6.25. And generally around that event, Bitcoin usually goes on a massive bull run. So we're expecting the same thing to happen. We shall see whether or not it does, but I thought that was very interesting, and it just again it confirms I suppose my confidence in Bitcoin and the security around the network, which is really cool. So talking about security and things, I found this report, which was really timely considering the comments that have been made in Congress over in the US. So this company called Messari, they're a research firm, and they've come up with this figure that they believe that the darknet for Bitcoin is spending 800 times less than fiat money laundering, right? So for every $1 in Bitcoin that they reckon are being used for nefarious purposes or money laundering, this is just money laundering, just money laundering. But there's for every $1 in Bitcoin, there is $800 of fiat dollars that are being laundered, which is just staggering. And so the guys have done, and this has come out of the politicians coming out. Yeah, I mean, anyone that wants to spread FUD about Bitcoin, it's always the favorite comment that it's just for money laundering and nefarious deeds and all this sort of crap, right? And but the research for at least the last 3 to 4 years that I've seen have shown that the percentages for cryptocurrencies are actually really low, right? And one of the key reasons for that is Bitcoin is not as anonymous as people think, and transactions can be traced because it is an open public blockchain. So Bitcoin, this is the crazy thing, Bitcoin actually makes the law enforcement's job easier in tracking down money laundering. This is the crazy thing about it. And far, far easier to track someone down in Bitcoin than it is with cash, right? And this report is a good one that just highlights that. So 800 times more cash is being used for money laundering than Bitcoin.
That's incredible, isn't it?
So so it is definitely shall we say FUD in the highest order.
Absolutely.
And this one was quite good. A new survey: 49% of Americans and Brits don't trust Facebook's Libra.
I wonder why they think that is actually news. I mean, how many people trust Facebook?
Yeah, well, this is right. And look, in fairness to the US political system over there, they've been laying it on thick for Facebook. And,
absolutely.
Giving them heaps about this, and look, fair call. You know, I mean, Facebook has certainly not done anything to ensure a lot of trust in the way they deal with our data.
Yeah,
and so why would we do the same for our money? Right? That just makes it worse. But look,
they still won't stop it.
No, they won't stop it. It'll still happen. I'm sure it will happen, right? And as I mentioned before, I think it's a great thing for the cryptocurrency industry because seriously, you can't buy this amount of marketing.
No.
It has put cryptocurrency front and center on mainstream media all around the world, and it's fantastic, right? As I said, it's going to be that gateway drug for sure for a lot of people, so which is pretty cool.
Cool.
And there's just a quick note. John Adams, who's a professional economist, has done a couple of articles, and this one is about the deposit insurance, a so-called deposit guarantee that the government makes us feel all warm and fuzzy about. And we'll actually go into a bit of a deep dive on that for our Patreon subscribers. and it really just covers over the process of how that actually works, and in particular some of the limitations that goes around that, and the process to getting your money is quite interesting. So it's a very interesting article, but we will go into that in a deeper episode for our Patreon subscribers.
Okay, cool. Send me the link to that one, will you please, mate?
I will, and we'll put it in the show notes too. So
thank you.
That's all right.
All right, Mr. Basil, 7:21 in the morning.
Ah, look at that! I think we've probably covered off most of the bits and pieces that we wanted to today.
We have indeed, ladies and gentlemen. This is our new format now. We're actually going to be doing these things every day, Monday through Friday. And the additional benefit Stacey was talking about, where we do the deep dives, will be for our Patreon subscribers only. So if you want to get all of that critical background information, then please subscribe to us through Patreon, and we will get it to you, because we're going to start producing those additional benefit videos, I guess, ADVs.
ADVs.
ABVs. I can't spell. The ABVs very, very soon, and they'll start flying out to our subscribers. So please join us. We would love to have you there, and it will, as always, keep us coming here.
As indeed. All right, folks. Well, I hope you have a crazy old day out there, and try and keep your head above water as much as you can.
So this is two crazy guys in one crazy crypto world saying have a great Wednesday, July 23rd, 2019. See ya.
See you guys. Bye.